My neighbor is in witness protection. Did you ever have a neighbor that seems very suspicious? I have one. I never see my neighbor. She is either in her house with the shades and blinds drawn, or perhaps she is leaving the house being picked up by a car or a cab. She's always wearing dark sunglasses. She doesn't sit on her porch. She doesn't socialize with anyone on the street. I have never seen her in a grocery store or walking down the street or with any human being except perhaps a cab driver or other person who has picked her up in her driveway. What is going on? She is a recluse, but why? Mental issue? I am a sleuth. You might say I am an expert on these issues. I mean, I have seen every episode of every police show on Netflix, and if that isn't enough, I went to the police academy. When I put two and two together, it seems obvious. My neighbor, based on all standards, must be in the Witness Protection Program. Have you heard of these incidents where individuals are in grave danger? Perhaps she saw a drug deal by organized crime, and the police are going to use her to identify the big guy. You know, the guy who runs the whole operation, who oversees the whole operation. It's also possible that she witnessed a drive-by shooting while she took a picture of the car and driver's license. The assailants noticed her, and she is the one person who can solve this heinous crime. There have also been incidents of the Salvation Army pot being stolen, and she was right there and saw the face. There have also been incidents at the grocery store where individuals were not scanning items in the self-checkout line, but putting items in their shopping cart. Yes, this has all the makings of these incidents. In fact, being a sleuth, you may question these things, but I know I can identify these things. For instance, when I was getting an oil change and it was finished, I noticed the worker had not shut the clamp to keep the oil in the engine. I have no fear. I challenged them. I threatened to sue them and said I'd take them to court for malicious intent. After considerable name-calling, I left. It didn't bother me that they kept yelling that I was a nutcase. Well, this was not the first malicious action I have seen, and I always go right after the assailant. It's my police and justice mentality. For instance, let's take the mail carrier. Do you know I witnessed the guy feeling envelopes? That's right, feeling envelopes. Obviously, he was looking for that credit or gift card. It would be very easy for him to put it in his hip pocket. Oh no, I wasn't going to let that go by without confronting our mail carrier thief. The guy just kept saying they were just arranging the mail in such a way it could all fit in the mailbox. A likely story. I threatened to report him to his authorities. After continually explaining he wasn't doing anything wrong, I said I saw what I saw. He called me some names and called me a nutcase. A sleuth calls them as they see them. They don't run away from danger. They run towards danger, seeking justice. You know, my background was always police work. I said I went into the police academy. Here is what I experienced. When I was going through the training, I saw what the captain was doing. He was putting the candidates in difficult, even impossible situations and trying to see how they'd react. Oh, I saw immediately what was going on. The captain didn't want any competition for his job. He'd lose his job and his pension. No, sir, he wasn't going to let that happen. There he was, issuing challenge upon challenge of difficult tasks, tough questions. You know, I bet he's one of those dirty cops. You know, the ones who work with organized crime to line their own pockets. Yes, he had all the characteristics. He took no crap from anyone. He had shifty eyes and a big belly. Yes, there really was no doubt. I took him aside to challenge him. He grabbed me by the shirt and said, "Go home, boy. How disrespectful. He knows what I know, and I'm a threat to him. I think he's after me. He's probably going to hire that hit guy. He's mean enough." He didn't even recognize the talent I had for police work. But he wasn't looking for that. He was protecting his backside and his power. I never thought I'd say this, but I think I'm going to my next-door neighbor. I think that Captain hired Guido. You know, the guy who makes cement shoes and puts a bullet through the head. Oh no, I'm in trouble. I never thought I'd say this, but I am going to my neighbor and ask her how she got into the program. I know I'm in danger, and perhaps she can tell me how I can get into the Witness Protection Program. I need a new life, a new name. Well, I never liked that name anyway. Maybe I could get a nose job and add a moustache. That would probably do it. Well, I should probably talk with a southern accent. Yeah, that should do it. Guido would never recognize me. I need that new life where I can be free from the evil that lurks and even follows my every move. When I ring that bell and my neighbor answers, I'll ask her. I'll find out the truth. What is it that she witnessed? When is she testifying? And where she is going afterward? And finally, why she is wearing those sunglasses, even inside her house. I was ready. I walked over and rang the bell. Well, she answered the door. She was cordial. I told her my story. When I started asking about how to get in the program, she replied, "What program? What are you talking about?" The only question I can answer is why I'm wearing sunglasses inside. You see, my ophthalmologist told me after the cataract surgery my eyes would be very sensitive to light, and they have been. So I'm hoping this will correct itself. I haven't even left the house because the light is so painful. I haven't seen my friends or anything. So what is it you want me to tell you about? Some program? What program?